Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at a sneak peek of how you can be able to raise pigeons on your farm, and this will encompass everything that is involved in raising pigeons and taking care of pigeons on the farm. We shall also be looking at how you can be able to choose the right breeds on the farm, how you can be able to set up a good structure for these pigeons on the farm. We shall also be looking at the feeding and the nutrition of these pigeons on the farm. Then you can also look at the breeding and the reproduction of these pigeons on the farm. Then lastly, we shall be looking at how you can be able to raise these pigeons for a good profit. So guys, stick with us throughout this video, and at the end of this video you will have learned something. So let's begin with a simple introduction of pigeon farming. So why would you go into pigeon farming? Pigeon farming is very easy, it does not need much, and it is profitable. There are some breeds of pigeons that can be able to fetch a good price within the market. Some pigeons can be reared for meat production, where you can be able to sell the meat from these pigeons for a good price within the market. You can rear these pigeons as a hobby, and others can rear these pigeons as pets. So that's the background of pigeon farming. You can be able to do a spectrum of things if you choose to go into pigeon farming. Then one of the important things is going to be the breeds that you rear on your farm. Choosing the right breed is going to greatly influence or determine the success of these pigeons on the farm. So what is going to inform the breeds that you rear on the farm is the purpose why you have chosen to rear these pigeons. So make sure that you choose the breeds of these pigeons that you're going to be rearing on your farm, basing on the goal onto why you're starting a pigeon farm. There are different kinds of breeds of these pigeons. Some are big and some are small. So depending on your goal of starting the farm, you'll be able to choose the right breeds. Then one of the most important things that you're going to look at when you're starting a pigeon farm is going to be the structure where these pigeons are going to be living. For us here on the farm, we house our pigeons within a structure. We do not allow them to go out, just for protection purposes and to be able to protect these pigeons from different kinds of predators. So you're going to choose the right structure that you feel is good for you. As you can see here, our structure is big enough, so our pigeons are able to fly around within the structure. So make sure that you don't make your structure so small, because pigeons generally you need to provide for them a space to be able to fly around. This will help them exercise and will give them an environment that is a little bit free, so that they are able to fly. Then you also make sure that this structure is dry. Do not house pigeons within a structure that is wet all the time. So that's why we have applied down some mulches. Here we are using coffee hussks. These are able to absorb the droppings from these pigeons, but also keep our structure dry. So when you keep your structure dry, it is going to prevent you from a lot of things. It will be able to prevent your pigeons from getting certain kinds of diseases because the ground floor is dry, and also these coffee hussks will be able to absorb some moisture, so which will also protect your pigeons. Then also the other important aspect is that make sure that your structure is well ventilated, in that it can allow in fresh air in and out of the structure. This is going to be key, as it will be able to allow out some unpleasant smell from the structure and be able to bring in fresh air that will freshen up the structure. So make sure that your structure is well ventilated it is spacious enough to provide these pigeons with ample space to be able to fly around. Then the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to place some branches within the structure, in that these pigeons can be able to fly and land on these branches. As you can see here in our structure, we have been able to do this, so our pigeons can be able to fly and then land on these branches. So the other big aspect when it comes to pigeon farming is the feeding and the nutrition. So pigeons here on the farm, we generally feed them on grain. Now this grain can be supplemented with some supplements and with some other kinds of seeds. Then also you have to provide the pigeons with clean water. Generally here on the farm, we feed our rabbits 3 times a day. So we shall feed them in the morning, then in the afternoon, then in the evening. So it will depend on the schedule that you will choose to be able to feed your pigeons. But make sure that you're giving the pigeons adequate grain or adequate supplements or seeds. But also make sure that there is always clean water within the structure or the cages to keep these pigeons hydrated. Now the other big aspect that you're going to look at on the farm will be the health and disease management. So now preventing these pigeons from getting ill or sick is going to be very key. So you will have to vaccinate them. Then also you will have to make sure that these structures are clean and the hygiene is on point. You can generally check your pigeons for any parasites that can cause diseases to these pigeons. So make sure that you vaccinate your pigeons. There are some simple vaccines that you can be able to give your pigeons so that you do not lose a number of them due to illnesses or sicknesses. Then we shall look at the breeding of the pigeons. Now for us here on our farm, whenever we are going to breed, we separate them. We are going to put them in breeding cages where we can be able to take care of those pigeons within those cages. In most cases, we do not leave the breeding pairs to get out of the cages. This is so because when you leave them to come out, they will start fighting for those eggs. So you will find that the pigeon that was on the eggs in the morning is not the pigeon that is on the eggs in the afternoon or in the evening. So to avoid this is we choose to keep our breeding pairs or our breeding pigeons within their cages and we feed them from there. So in this regard is we can be able to trace and track the pigeons that are laying the eggs and that are going to hatch these eggs. This has greatly helped us to be able to monitor our pigeons that are laying eggs and that are hatching eggs. We faced a big challenge with this when we were starting, in that we would leave the pigeons to come out of the cages and mix with these other pigeons that are out, but we faced that challenge in that these pigeons were fighting for the eggs. So to cure this is we decided to leave the laying pigeons or the breeding pigeons within their cages and we feed them from there. Now one big aspect of pigeon farming is going to be the business or how you're finding market for the products or for these pigeons. For us here, we generally sell our pigeons for meat. Then also we sell to people that are going to rear them as pets. Then we also sell to other farmers. So that's how we have been able to get market for these pigeons. Pigeons have market that is readily available, but you will need to first accumulate numbers. So you're going to start with a few pairs. These pairs will multiply. After you have accumulated numbers, then that is when it is advisable for you to be able to start selling these pigeons, because If you start selling when you have just a few, you will find that your stock is going to greatly reduce, and you will find it hard to be able to maintain or supply these pigeons if you get market. So it is advisable that you first accumulate the pigeons, then you can be able to sell. The challenges we have found here is that you're going to face a few challenges with the diseases, but this will not be so much. Then also taking care of the young pigeons when they have just hatched is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Then also there are going to be a few predators that may disturb you, but this can be also be controlled. These will be like the rats, the raccoons that can come into these cages and try to prey on these young pigeons, but this can be controlled. You can be able to have cats around that will be able to chase these predators, but also if you have these cats, you will be able to tame them or train them to be able to live together with these pigeons, because also these cats can also become predators if you do not train them very well. So guys, I'm going to leave you with a few tips of how you can be able to succeed if you choose to start a pigeon farm. First of all, you will need to start small. Do not start big, because as you start small, you will be able to learn and be able to gain knowledge on how to be able to take care of these pigeons. So I would advise you to start small. Then when you start small, make sure that you learn consistently. Make sure that you're learning something every day, and this will be able to improve your skill when it comes to taking care of these pigeons. Then I would also advise you to network with some experienced farmers within your locality. If you know of a farmer that has a pigeon farm and is taking care of pigeons, you can be able to network with them, because they will be able to pass on this knowledge or teach you something in regard to taking care of these pigeons. So guys, in conclusion, I would encourage you to start a pigeon farm. Start small, grow big, and I can tell you, you will be able to gain out of this farm, as the pigeon market is already out there, and some breeds of pigeons can be able to fetch a good price within the market. So guys, thank you for making Farm Life UG your go-to place for farming tips. Would encourage you to share our content, like our content, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, as this will help YouTube to be able to push our content to more viewers on YouTube. So guys, thanks for watching. And guys, if you have any other topic that you would love us to cover here on the channel, please also leave it within the comment section below, and we shall be able to expound and cover it in details. And as always guys, I'll see you in the next video.